What is uppers, mightiest subscribers? This is Ernie, Blerd Without Fear.
My name is Maria Park, and if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's Approach the Nerd.
And today we are going to be talking about Crisis on Infinite Earths.
And crying a lot.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we have a lot, Anyways, before we get started, let's hit that intro.
Word to wise, grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple eyes. You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Man, dream on, yeah, dream on, dream weaver. Dream weaver.
And we are back.
We're back.
All right. So let's go ahead and just let's get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way now so no one says that we're negative Nancy's. What did you like about Crisis on
Infinite
Earths?
So I like the Easter eggs.
Okay.
They had some really cool Easter. We got to see Burt Ward in Earth 66 walking his oversized dog. He still has the voice, which is awesome. Because normally when you age, sometimes they'll.
That voice ain't hitting like it used to.
Yeah, so he still had his voice. We had Robert Knox, Earth 89, Michael Keaton's Batman. I thought that was a really good shout out. Saw the Titans. Who did we see in Earth X?
That was the Ray.
That was the Ray.
That was the Ray.
Okay. So yeah, I did like that. I didn't like every Easter egg. I'm a little jaded about Birds of Prey and Helena.
That is
that was a mess.
Yeah,
that was a mess. I am not subscribing to her dying that fast. I'm sorry. No, I'm not doing that at all.
We're not. Basically, for me, it was I like seeing the Titans. I feel like they just reused footage from the actual Titan show. I don't think they shot anything.
I think that was even a flashback
specific.
probably from Titan.
It may have been. I feel like I've seen that scene in Titan season 2. I'm almost positive I have.
Yeah.
So someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember the actor who plays Hawk, whose name is escaping me at the moment. However, I do remember him specifically saying that he did not shoot anything for Crisis on Infinite Earths. So they likely just used footage from DC Universe because it's all kind of under one umbrella. And I mean, hell, Stargirl is now on CW, not on
which they
DC
probably
Universe.
should have held off playing the trailer for her new show until after Crisis ended.
Probably.
Because,
apparently she's in Crisis. She's going to show up at some point in the show when they come back from their Christmas break.
So something else that I liked, I did like the fact that they incorporated Kingdom Come Superman, because I love Brandon Routh in Superman Returns. I just didn't like Superman Returns.
That's the general consensus, I think. For me, most people I know who talk about Superman Returns, they always say, yeah, man, that movie was wild trash, but he was good.
He was very good. It's just the plot. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest... The director of that movie, I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not going to talk about his name, say his name, because it's going to start me on my X-Men tangent, but... He's the only person or director I know in the history of Hollywood that screwed up 2 different comic universes, DC and Marvel, at the time, and basically simultaneously.
Simultaneously. So. I would actually go as far as to say he has done a bang up job on, jacking up 2 different ones.
Yeah.
And maybe an attempted third.
I did like Superman Kingdom Come. I love that they kept him in to me, he's one of the most powerful versions of Superman.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love the interaction with him and Arrowverse Superman, because you really see how weak Arrowverse Superman is a lot. He was even weak in Elseworlds. He was getting his butt handed to him in Elseworlds.
And the thing is, it's always booking it's booking in favor of Supergirl, because they always because he gets son, which, to be fair, she is more powerful,
and she's supposed to be older than him.
She's supposed to be older than him, and she is in a lot of respects more powerful
and more Kryptonian
than Superman is in a lot of respects. But I think a lot of it, they almost go out of their way to make the Earth 38 Superman, which is the Earth that they are from.
Yeah.
They almost go out of their way to make him weaker.
They do.
Because they've done it on the Supergirl show. They've done it in the previous crossover with Elseworlds. Mm-hmm. And at the very beginning of this crossover, they literally had him going, oh, you just had to show me up. You just had to sun me one good time. He may as well have just said, wow.
When they were trying to power up the I guess their version of the power cells or the UV cells. on the tower.
They're using the laser eyes.
And, you know,
technical
of course,
term.
Supergirl. Now, to be fair, Supergirl did start a couple of seconds after him, but she held on the longest. But you have super cramps. You have to understand. Maybe that just gave her an edge.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I would gladly trade no cramps for shorter laser eyes.
Yeah, but it just. But when watching him fight against, you know, Kingdom Come Superman. Yeah. I mean, it was like Superman Kingdom Come was beating the crap out of him.
Well, not only that, but Kingdom Come Superman and I'm sure we'll talk about this very shortly, Smallville Superman are both remarkably and noticeably bigger than
Smallville's Tom Welling Superman. That man got twice as big than he was on the show. Oh, no, he is like a it's like what kind of built or muscle protein shakes are you on?
Dude, my guy came out the gate like this. He was just like,
I was like, oh, he was chopping. I was like, what is even Lois?
I am Superman.
Even Arrowverse's Lois was like, he looks like the brawny
the brawny
paper
version.
Towel guy.
Like I said, like I liked all that stuff. I liked Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman. Yeah. He was there was something about the gravitas he brought to the role. Of course, those of you who have actually read Crisis on Infinite Earths, you probably already know that in that storyline there are two different Superman characters who are prominent in it. There's, you know, of course, the Superman that we know, you know, from, you know, the I guess the would be what would they call it at the time? I guess would be the Earth 1 Superman.
It would be.
Or was it New Earth came after.
New Earth was later. So
New Earth was later. So
maybe it was Earth 1. It might
have been. I can't remember. It's DC's Earth continuity
stuff
is too wishy-washy. They don't even know. Yeah. But you basically, we'll just say for lack of a better way to put it, it was Earth 1 Superman, Earth 2 Superman, and Earth 2 Superman was the older Superman. Yeah, so he kind of had the gray. Yeah. So that's why you have Brandon Routh's Kingdom Come Superman, because he's the older Superman, so it all kind of made sense. Yeah. So rant. But I really liked how they lined up some of the other characters. Now, and I'm gonna keep it positive here on this one. I appreciated that, you know, we got to see characters like Lila. We got to see more of the Monitor, which we've been seeing a lot of him lately. We got to see even more of him. We do at some point get to see the Anti-Monitor. We do get to see some jokes.
Saw a glimpse of him.
We saw a glimpse of it, which, I mean...
at the end of season, or episode 2.
Yeah, well, and roughly about the point in the story, because what they did, they kind of... In 3 episodes, they basically got you to the halfway mark of Crisis on Infinite Earths, the comic, at least in the way they are adapting it.
Right.
We've not seen any Psycho Pirate yet. We've not seen, which they have teased the Psycho Pirate. Of course, he's supposed to be there, but we haven't seen him yet, though.
Yeah.
And we've witnessed so many Earths be destroyed. And one of the things I thought was really good about it, one of the things that actually made me go, okay, this crossover is actually it's about business, or business, because in the first episode, we've already clapped up Oliver Queen. So Oliver Queen literally sacrifices himself for the greater good. But now let's talk about
the negatives
we don't like. So, Maria, yes. I know that you and we are both longtime comics readers. I would say without giving away any ages.
I'm going to give away my age. I just turned 43 on December 8th when Crisis started. Happy birthday to me.
That's right.
So, and I was raised on military bases, so I only had comics and Doctor Who. Tom Baker, my whole life.
Gang.
But,
like I said, black don't crack. No, even when it's only half, it don't matter.
Yes,
That's enough.
I am half black, so please understand that I'm not Hispanic. I know a lot of people have asked me that question.
You are.
I'm not.
You are of light skin, and your name is Maria. People will just assume you are Hispanic. That is not the case.
It's not.
Not to say that it's a bad thing.
And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful culture. It's just not mine. So let's talk about the ultimate Justice Leaguer.
Oh,
I'm not gonna say it with a straight face.
Yeah.
Oliver Queen,
yes.
Green Arrow.
Oh,
well, I do like Green Arrow in the comic book, so this is not. This isn't.
I think I've been very vocal myself that I love Green Arrow. Like I loved the Green. Like I didn't love all of Green Arrow New 52, but the points where Jeff Lemire took over, I was like, okay, this book is on fire.
Yeah. Hell, even in Deceased, he was funny in Deceased.
Even going into his book in DC Rebirth, I was like, dude, this guy's amazing. I love him. I want more of this. Where is this on the CW? So I think, so now that you know, and by the way, I've read the Longbow Hunters. I've read all of the core and the important Green Arrow books. So I think it's safe to say we know who Green Arrow is.
We know him.
That said,
and we know who Speedy was supposed to be.
Exactly.
But that's a whole other.
That's a whole. We're not even getting into that. So my thing is
CW Arrowverse.
Yes, this is the Arrowverse.
Oliver Queen, Earth 1, Oliver Queen, because his Earth is Earth 1.
His Earth is Earth. Yes. Why kill him in episode 1
and have big dramatic speeches saying goodbye to everybody, sacrificing yourself for that 1 billion extra save of mankind, just to make him the ultimate freaking Bebe's kid? I mean, I don't understand this. Oh, we're like, oh, that poor actor, he only got to be in 1 episode of Crisis, and he, Arrow, technically Smallville started off, which is older, but technically Arrow started the Arrowverse. So like, I want to know why networks, because DC is notorious for doing this with the death of Superman. They started that, death doesn't matter in comics. Everybody knows this. What in the heck did they think that us, intelligent audience viewers, were going to think when you do this long, drawn-out death scene, and then you bring him back in the next freaking episode?
Well, here's the problem. So you did this this very amazing buildup. There was a terrific buildup. It was sad. It actually even evoked an emotional response for me. I was like, oh wow, they were
selling it. Barrett was crying. Oh yeah. I was like, oh, he's really gone now.
I was even sitting here going like, oh God, what are they gonna tell Diggle? Oh my God. I was like, this is too much. I was like, wow, they actually had the balls, the temerity to kill off Oliver Queen in the very first episode of the crossover. I was like, oh, so this is how it ends. This is how Arrow ends. I was like, this is fantastic. And then you undid it just like that because Lazarus Pits and because people don't learn from past mistakes ever in life. And okay. I'm not a huge fan, and I've been very vocal about this, in other things. I'm not a huge fan of Felicity. And,
neither am I.
By proxy, I'm not a fan of her daughter either. And by proxy, I'd say her daughter.
Now, I did like the actress. She was great in that show, Shadowhunters, where she plays Clary.
Yeah, I like the actress. Let me Claire. I like her. Yeah, I don't like the character the way she is written.
The way she's written now.
The CW has a very big problem with writing women. Specifically women. I feel like they do an okay job with Batwoman. And I feel like they, at some point in time, did an okay job with Supergirl, though I haven't been watching lately to have an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, Supergirl actually is not the problem with Supergirl.
That's a whole other conversation. We're not talking about that today. Yeah. What we are talking about.
I don't like how they write Iris.
No, I don't like how they write Iris.
And it doesn't help that she gets a lot of hate.
No, that doesn't help either. That does not help either. And I would also go as far as to say I don't like the way that they wrote both really all the Canaries up to a point. Like I think Sarah has been the one that's caught the least amount of shrapnel from bad writing.
Well, Sarah's not a real character. She's a made up.
A made up character,
so
but
they can do whatever they want. They have free reign to do what they want.
But like
White Canary's not, but she herself is not.
Right. Like because what is it? I know it's Katie Cassidy who plays Laurel, and then is it? I can't remember her first name. I know it's Harkavy or Harkavy. Either not important.
Yeah,
anyway, the point of the matter is they play two completely different versions of Black Canary, and both of them, while I personally don't have any problem with either one of them, I just feel like they have all been portrayed in varying degrees of not good. It's very telling when the best version of me of Katie Cassidy's Laurel is when she came from Earth 3 as Black Siren.
Black Siren,
I was like, okay, now we're talking. And even giving her character development, giving her time to grow as a character from being a villain to becoming a good guy. I was like, yes, this is the character development I wanted to see. Not saying exactly this,
which is
but
going to
just
make
the
you,
level.
yeah. I'm wondering how they're going to do their show, the spin-off show too. So I guess we'll have to do another video about that.
Yeah, it was just, but
with Mia and the Black Canaries.
Oh god, yet another Arrowverse show, and not the one I want.
No. But yeah, so back to the original thing though,
Yeah.
with Oliver. I mean, I was so irritated that they did that, and now, I mean, I understand Spectre. I understand. I just don't understand why. I mean, it's bad writing. I'm sorry. It's like you cannot build up to this momental. It was a sentimental moment,
right?
Of okay, this is the end of the Arrowverse. This cuts off the line. Now we're moving forward into whatever we're going into next.
Yeah, I know what they're doing.
The next episode is like, I'm back.
well, here's the problem. Here's where your problem is. Right here, straight up and down. The problem with this setup is the fact that you have the Oliver Queen being set up as a Spectre. Basically, long story short, he's killed. He is brought back. He has no soul because the Lazarus Pit does not implant a soul into you when you revive. And they were trying to get his soul back, but they can't get his soul back because apparently Jim Corrigan, who I don't know why they didn't just get the actor who played him on Constantine, but whatever. Maybe he was busy. Maybe. Who knows? But the problem is that for whatever reason, Jim Corrigan, I don't remember because honestly, the whole time I was watching the scene, my mind was just going blah, 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 blah. This is fucking stupid. Anyways, the point of the matter is that I didn't appreciate how you bring Oliver into this. And my thing is, you should have kept Oliver just dead. Just kept him dead, and then you know what I would have done? I'm just gonna say, I think I've said this before. Let's fantasy book this. If it was me, if I'm using wrestling terminology here, if anyone doesn't understand what I mean by that, but if I had the book, this is how I'd have done it. I would have saved that whole Jim Corrigan thing. I would have saved it to the butt end of the entire episode, the entire series. When Crisis on Infinite Earths wraps up, if I just wanted to give a little stinger, a little taste of things to come, I would have had the spirit of Jim Corrigan reach out to the spirit of Oliver Queen in the afterlife and basically say, "Hey, I need you to be the Spectre." Done. Cut
and
the
then
check,
he could have just been the Spectre without anybody else knowing he was alive or even the Spectre.
But the thing is, I know what they're setting up for. They're setting up for the next big, they're setting up for the next crossover. The problem is,
it's so annoying. Like, it makes us as viewers seem stupid.
Well, not only that, it's assuming that the people who are watching this, they're rightfully so, they're assuming that most of them aren't familiar with the comics, which that is the case for a lot of people. However, there's this thing called Google.
Yep.
And most people who don't know anything about these shows, that's usually what they do. They just Google it. My wife, who is by her own admission, not that big of a comics person. I mean, she likes comics. It's just not something she has time to just keep up with on a regular, everyday basis. As moi. So, you know what happens when we're watching CW shows and a new character comes up and she doesn't know who that character is? What she does is she either A, turns to me, ask me who that is, or B, she'll pull out her phone and what she'll do, she'll type in the name of the character and DC Comics after it, and then she will go from there. That is
a lot of people do that.
That is what heroes do.
And honestly, there's so many characters across the different comic book universes.
Yeah.
That sometimes you have to look it up because even if you know the character, it could be another universe when someone's saying something that you can follow, or another version of that character. So, but yeah, so the Oliver Queen thing really, really bothered me. Now, the thing that really bothered me,
tilt warning.
I got questions. First thing, what Earth are they on? We know in New 52 is 23.
It's 23. It is 23 on the show.
It's supposed to be, but if you follow Black Lightning, the TV series, in the episode that led into Crisis, when their world was getting wiped, you saw Jennifer go on to Earth 1 and Earth 2 parallel worlds. So how is she in Earth 2? If Earth 2 was destroyed in Arrow episode, like the first
that
episode
is that
season.
Was right.
How? And I'm not gonna fall for this, that happened before Arrow crap. That's bull crap, because that episode actually predates when Crisis started.
Yeah.
So how is Jennifer in Earth 2 if Earth 2 didn't exist anymore? seeing another incarnation of Earth 2? How,
Sway?
How?
I need to know.
And then what happened to Jennifer? She was like particles when the Earth was, going.
I'm not gonna lie, that whole episode, that is the okay. So here's my problem. That whole episode, that I think is so far the weakest episode of the entire Black Lightning season so far, because it was in service of a crossover, more so than the series itself. And I personally kind of feel like, honestly, at this point, I'm almost kind of wishing Black Lightning was not in the crossover at all. Because let's go ahead and get into the real points of contention here, is that Black Lightning, his Earth is destroyed in the crossover, and Pariah pulls him to...
Hold that thought.
Oh, yes, by all means.
Here we go. This is gonna lead into Black Lightning.
Okay.
So Harbinger starts saving people for Monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Who she picks to save makes no sense. Jennifer and Nyssa were not taken to, with the others to Crisis, but Lois Lane was.
Mm-hmm.
Iris was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a hater of these women. I love these characters, but what are they going to do in Crisis?
They're both reporters.
What's the point? You're going to report on something to an Earth that's no longer there? I think not.
Well, I mean, no, there's even a point where Lois Lane actually says something about, like, the
greatest story in the world, and there's no one to tell it to.
Right.
Yeah. Why are you here? Anybody can push a button on the freaking computer.
She is here to change diapers, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. But my problem, even in the part where they're in Argo City, and basically Lois and Clark are saved.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't Allura saved? You just saved 2 Kryptonians instead of a human and a Kryptonian. Do you see what I'm saying? It makes the strategicness of this was non-existent.
Well,
if this was a board game, we've already lost. It is dumb.
So not only that, and just to kind of further your point, they didn't take Lynn, who, if you were going to take a character who is by all means ancillary to the entire plot as a whole, but is still useful because it means that basically they still inform in some way. They are just one of the cogs in the wheel. Basically, both herself and Gamby would have been more useful than Lois or Iris.
Yep.
And I think, honestly, taking Iris on, and don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Candace Patton. I think she's a fantastic actress.
I love Iris. I just don't like what they do with her sometimes.
I don't like what they do with her. But my thing is that I feel like you give Barry more tragedy, more struggle, more story arc, and more gravitas in taking Iris off the table. Same goes for the Earth 38 Superman, or Arrowverse Superman, whatever. I just don't feel like it was necessary to have them and not Lynn and Gamby. I feel like they would have been infinitely more useful. I also think if you were, and even if you didn't bring Lynn and Gamby, you could have brought Jennifer and Thunder. Now, I know how these crossovers work. What they usually do is they bring over the one character from the new show, and then the next crossover they bring in these smaller characters. But because remember, what was it? When they first, even before Elseworlds, even before Crisis, when they did not Crisis on Earth X, but it was one where they were going up against the Dominators.
Oh yeah,
it was the first crossover with Supergirl. They didn't bring over any of the Supergirl characters, even though they had a whole ass Martian Manhunter on Decky. They did not bring him.
Don't get me started on that.
Actually, you know what? Before we move,
at least we have Martian Manhunter.
We have a Martian Manhunter. But the main idea of this is the fact that you wiped out an Earth with characters you could have used. You bring in Black Lightning, who is just not used well at all for the little bit of time he's there.
And I know they couldn't bring his new suit because of budgeting reasons.
Yeah.
So he had his first season suit. But even with Jennifer and Nyssa, I mean, if you're really trying to save the world and you want to protect this tower, why in the heck wouldn't you bring the manpower? You've got Batwoman. I have nothing against Batwoman. I actually love Kate Kane in the comics. I don't have a problem with Batwoman in the TV series.
I thought she was done.
Still a human being. I want somebody who's going to stomp the ground and blow crap up. I mean, I'm sorry. I am a human. I am trying to be saved. They're trying to get me on the ship so I can go out in the outer space. And you got Batwoman flinging up. Well, let me stop cussing. I'm just like, why? That does not. I understand she headlines her own TV show. You got to have a crossover.
Yeah.
Her Supergirl have a little thing, a little friendship here. They're going to be the new Barry and Oliver.
Not only that, they're kind of trying to, because they're built. Well, another thing they're doing is they're building towards world's finest.
Yes.
With Supergirl and Batwoman, which that's fine, whatever. I don't care.
It is what it is.
It just I feel like
I'm using this as a point of Nisa and Jen should have been there.
They should have been there. No, and then not only that, then they kill Black Lightning.
Yep.
When the Anti-Monitor takes over Lila's, because the whole plot of Crisis on Infinite Earths is that Harbinger is basically being controlled by the Anti-Monitor on the slick, and she
they call
basically
them paradigms. They're finding
basically he kind of flips her and uses her to take out the Anti-Monitor, and then she kind of regains her.
Well, she took out Monitor.
Well, she took out the Monitor.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, it's fine.
Slip up.
It's a lot going on.
She's controlled by the Anti-Monitor to kill the Monitor.
Yeah.
And then she ends up reverting back to being her normal self, and then she starts helping the heroes again alongside Pariah and everybody else. And I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen when they come back.
Absolutely.
But the point of the matter is all the other heroes are dead. Also, this could have gone without Lex Luthor. I did not need Lex Luthor in this crossover. I love John Cryer. I love him.
His interaction with Tom Welling in the Smallville scene.
I will say that
was epic.
I actually did enjoy that because he basically just kind of diminished him.
Yeah.
He was basically just like, look, even without my powers, I'm still stronger than you.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Tom Welling, he gave up the Kryptonian power so he could have a baby. He could make not super babies.
Because I know they were in Argo City, but Fortress of Solitude is still intact, so he really could have just taken her there.
No. Here's the thing:
the Red Sun and just got it on. I don't understand why he had to give his powers up.
You know what invalidates all of that though?
What?
And I don't know if the CW thought about this when they wrote this whole plot out. So Tom Welling gave up his Kryptonian power so he could have a family with Lois. But here's the problem with that. Fast forward, rewind back to Earth 38 Superman, who literally has a son, Jonathan Kent, with Lois. All he did was go to Argo City.
Yeah, and
that's all he did.
And
he didn't have to give up the powers.
Had to do was go to the Fortress of Solitude.
He didn't. That's all that had to happen.
Bam.
So basically, what they're saying is that Tom Welling Superman is not smart.
No. Well, not only that, I don't know if you guys remember this in Smallville, and don't quote me on what episode this is. I've seen every episode. There was a point where it got predicted that Lex Luthor was going to become president in the future, and that it was going to lead to his Earth's Armageddon. Right. So he gave his powers up, and they mentioned that Lex is the freaking president. So I'm like, he was just like, well, I want to have a kid, so screw the world. I mean, that is the one Earth that needed to keep their Superman. Yeah. So I'm just like, all right, you done. You're just dumb.
It's all lame, and it's all lame. Bad. And here's the thing. The more I have thought about this crossover, the more I've thought about everything in it. I honestly, I feel like there was almost no need for some of the stuff that was going on here as far as plot and things. I feel like, case in point, we talked about the Huntress from Birds of Prey. She shows up for literally 2 seconds just to get killed.
2 seconds just to be on.
We're wasting time with silly cameos where we can't even take the time to actually say that, instead of saying, oh, the Daily Planet was gassed by a lunatic or a madman, you could have just said, hey,
Joker.
Just say the Joker.
We name dropped him in Batwoman all the time. I don't understand.
I hate it because it's the same crap that the Netflix Marvel shows did, where it's like, oh, we're not going to say the Hulk. We're not going to say the like, instead of saying Hulk, we're going to say the big green guy. Instead of saying Captain America, we're going to say the dude with the shield. Instead of saying Thor, we're going to say the guy with the hammer. Instead of saying any of these other things, we're not going to say the actual name.
They always called it the
dance around
event.
it.
Remember the event?
Oh yeah, it's just, I'm like, stop it. There's no need for any of this. And honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, all these shows that they're trying to bring in, Mia or Green Arrow and the Black Canaries, or whatever they or Mia
That's what
Queen
we're calling
and the
it.
Black Canaries. They're bringing in Stargirl now. Lois and Clark,
Superman and Lois,
or Superman and Lois, or Lois and Clark, whatever 2.0. They're bringing in all these shows. And the thing is, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I don't hate. Is it? I think we discussed this. Is it Tyler Hoechlin?
Tyler Hoechlin
Or Hoechlin, whatever his name is. Either way, I don't even hate him as Superman. I'm perfectly fine with him having a show. But my problem with it is just the fact that, okay, so we got Supergirl. Now we're going to have a Superman show. What is it going to be about these shows that's going to separate the two? Because Supergirl
his shows is about the baby. About how could he keep his job as Superman and her be a reporter and raise a super kid? It's going to be like, wait, what?
I know that Greg Berlanti, God bless his soul, he has come out and said that this crossover event is supposed to be a way to give writers for the CW Arrowverse a blank check to just do whatever the hell they want in the seasons going forward. But here's what I would say. I think a smarter person, a wiser person, maybe a person a little more in the know, would probably say, maybe, just maybe, if at the end of this crossover event, we haven't taken all these random ass Earths and pared them down to just one Earth, and maybe had a little more continuity between all the different shows. Like, hey, I'm cool with that. If you want to have a Superman and Lois show that's all about Superboy, Jonathan Kent being raised up, fine. Yep. If you want to keep Legends of Tomorrow going and them just flying around in ships and just screwing up time, fine. I won't watch it anymore because I'm kind of done and over it. But yeah, whatever.
So I do like Constantine.
Yeah, I do like Constantine. That's the thing. You bring back Constantine, but you did it too late. You did it. You're too late, Luthor. Too late. Anyway, those of you who see Superman, you'll get the reference. Anyway,
it's also happened to Deceased too, but that's fine.
Neither. But I just my whole beef with all of this is just the fact that, you know, if you're gonna do all this, does this mean we're going to get more continuity between the shows where the characters are going to cross over more often? Because that would be wise. That would be the smarter thing to do, since you all film in the same area with the exception of Black Lightning.
Yeah, they're still in Atlanta. And I thought, well, we know how Crisis ended in the comics. They all merged into one Earth. Yeah. Which is what's supposed to happen. I think that's when you get New Earth. Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen in the Arrowverse. But my problem with that is, if Black Lightning is incorporated into the Arrowverse, if they don't move into Vancouver, he's still the black sheep out. Mm-hmm. So how are they going to work that in? Because you can't really, let's call Black Lightning for help. Don't worry, they'll be here tomorrow. It's like, it doesn't make any freaking sense.
Yeah, I feel
incorporate them where they're all like next door to each other.
Yeah, so, I don't know, and I feel like at some point, and you know, no one hate me for saying this, but I just feel like, instead of having Legends of Tomorrow, I'm not saying you should fire everybody from that show, but I just feel like Legends of Tomorrow should have simply been a Justice Society show. Because, I mean, hell, they even leaned into the Justice Society in the first couple of episodes of their second season. I feel like maybe that would have been the smarter thing to do, maybe. Or you know, maybe use that show as that should have been your crossover show. Yeah. Like, that should have been your crossover show where you have all these different characters coming together and all that other stuff. I think maybe that's what that should have been used for, as opposed to being a low, I don't want to say low budget Doctor Who, because technically I think it might have a higher budget than Doctor Who. Well, I mean, they had Rory from Doctor Who. Yeah. But I mean, like, it's a knockoff Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's kind of like Doctor Who in a way. Only Doctor Who would have prevented Crisis on there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like Doctor Who literally could have wrapped up Crisis on Infinite Earths in like maybe an episode.
And an hour. Heck, even the TARDIS could have done it alone.
And you know what? And for those who hate, I mean, even the Jodie Whittaker version of Doctor Who could have wrapped this up in like 45 minutes awesome. Plus commercials.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of balls, literally, to come into that role as the first female Doctor ever. Yeah. It takes a lot, and she did not hesitate, so I have no problem with her.
And I think her Doctor's just fine. She's actually probably one of my, she's kind of a mix of my favorite. Like, she's kind of like, I feel like she's got good qualities of all the different Doctors that I do like, whether it's the original or older, or new or whatever. But, definitely. I'll talk about some Doctor. But now that we know we have two episodes, technically it's three, but it's one episode that's a regular length episode, and then a second episode that is actually 2 hours long.
So yeah, it's actually supposed to be 6 hours, but they've been plugging 5 episodes. So everyone assumed it was 5 hours.
Yeah.
Now I will say this, which is really interesting. If you're gonna do a mini series, that's what I'm calling it, like Crisis. Why the heck would you split it up like a mid-season finale?
Well,
like,
originally it was all supposed to be aired
back to back, and then they
split
it. And the irony is, my mother's birthday is January 14th. It comes back on my mom's birthday, and it started on mine. But that I'm just saying that because that tells you the gap of time that we're gonna have to wait. So we have to marinate on the crap they just did, just to get prepared for the crap they're gonna finish.
And they kind of, and you know what?
So,
I think they did it on purpose. I think they honestly were trying to get that Infinity War vibe. The same kind of vibe that I'm not saying that that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying they were going for, and they've been very transparent about this in this crossover, that they are going for a more Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame idea. They kind of want you to go in these next 2 installments of Crisis on Infinite Earths with that same energy that you had when you went to go see Avengers Endgame. They want you to think that all hope is lost. How are the heroes going to win? They even did this kind of silly dusting effect on all the characters who died, even though technically it was more of an antimatter wave, but still it was the same type of effect, just with more lights added to it. And they want you to feel that same sense of dread that Thanos was putting into audiences, thinking that, oh my God, how can the story end like this? Yeah. Only in this case, instead of waiting was a calendar year,
you
get the ending.
I think 3 weeks.
It's
later.
2.5 to 3 weeks.
3 weeks later.
So I don't know. I don't think that was a wise decision.
I don't like it. I mean, it is a CW thing, though. They do it in every series. Even in their normal run, they'll have a break, a mid-season break. And then they let you marinate, and then it comes back. But sometimes when it comes back, it's never the build-up the initial run had, the first part of it. So I do worry about that. But I mean, obviously we're gonna watch it and we're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, I mean,
just...
we'll talk some. You know, I guess it's a good thing. I guess it's a good thing we're doing this. This is technically we did one before.
We'll say this is the first half Crisis review. This is what this is.
Crisis on Infinite Earths, the CW Arrowverse.
0.5000. But no. Ernie has me doing something now. Every time I see something, especially on the CW that I don't like, I'm like, my name is Oliver Queen, and I am the 1.555% of the people still surviving speedsters on all the Infinite Earths that are no longer around, that managed to survive alive.
Yeah.
My name is Barry Allen. Like I do that all the time.
I in order to stomach this crossover, I had to become someone else. I had to become something else.
And I had to do it somewhere else. But
and clearly with a drink.
There were a lot of cute, funny moments too. We didn't touch on that. We can do that really quickly. Like Rory and Jonathan Kent.
I thought that was
the only one that could keep them from crying, which is and even Superman was like, huh? And then Lois was like, okay,
well,
got a babysitter.
Even which I thought was cute, but it's like, God, I just feel like Heat Wave just could have been used so much better.
Yeah. Well,
and then you also had Captain Cold, who was now the voice of Gideon.
Oh yeah.
From was it Earth 74, 78 or whatever they were
in
on.
In the future, where Rory's basically, well, he even says that some of them died, so we just got some forebodings there that half of them are either left or died from Legends. The whole John Cryer Tom Welling interaction where he throws the kryptonite to Clark in Smallville, and he's like, meh. Totally.
I like that. It's all cute stuff.
It was cute. It's just those moments did not outweigh the fact that the choices that were made and the people that were brought in were stupid.
Yes.
So
not a good look.
You were not trying to save any of those Earths. You were not. These are all plot points. We needed Iris there because we were going to kill her, along with the Arrowverse, Superman and everybody else, so that Barry would feel motivated to fight harder.
Right.
And, we needed to have Batwoman there because Batwoman and Supergirl are the headliners of their own shows, and then they have to become the partners that they're meant to be going forward into the next,
I will say, this time I actually forgot. I actually did like Kevin Conroy. I like Kevin Conroy's Batman.
How do we forget Kevin Kevin
Yeah,
Conroy.
I was sitting here thinking about it. I was like,
gosh.
there's something I'm forgetting.
Well,
but,
two
yeah.
things. But yeah, so Kevin Conroy.
And I liked Luke Fox. I was
love
like, I
Luke
like
Fox.
this version of Luke Fox way better
He was
than
cool.
the one that's on Batwoman.
That was
I was
actually
like, this
cool.
Luke Fox got some seasoning on him.
Heck, that whole shit, that whole Gotham world was pretty damn cool. But
which, by the way, somewhere on this shirt is his character. I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere on this shirt is Batwing. Actually, there he is.
There he is.
Right there.
Yep.
He's right in there.
But no, like
somewhere.
I loved Kevin Conroy. I think it was my initial my dream was that they were going to do Batman Beyond because I mean, why not introduce Terry?
Yeah,
I mean, you're
I
going
felt
to
like they were
future
going
the
to
past.
do it.
I thought they were.
I think they wound up going for more of a Dark Knight Returns.
It was definitely Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were going to go that route, they should have just gone all the way out and done the Batman Who Laughs. That would have been awesome.
I would have loved.
I would have loved
all of
that.
it. Well, but I even loved that this was a Batman who lost hope. I love this was a Batman that kind of lost his
his marbles.
mind.
That's what he did.
And I love the fact that the Luke Fox that was in this version was more like the Luke Fox from the comics than what we got on Batwoman. Like, honestly, I kind of feel like when they, like, okay, here's what you do, CW. You want to make some changes? Here's one of the things you do. When you merge all these Earths, I think you should make Luke Fox's character more like the character we saw in that Earth 99, I believe it was.
Yeah.
That should be the Luke Fox we get. And I feel like if we bring, now I don't know if they'll go with Kevin Conroy for, because they said that, there's a lot of people been kind of asking like for Kevin Conroy to get his own show as Batman. I don't think they're going to do that. But if you wanted to do a Batman Beyond-esque type of live action show, he could be the older Batman. He's too old to play a younger Batman, but you could, or if you want to do a younger Batman, you could have a completely different actor play the younger version, and you could have kind of like how we always have like the flashbacks with Oliver and Arrow.
Yeah.
You could do flash forwards with Kevin Conroy and
but
I would rather it be just.
I'd rather it do Batman Beyond because he would be very instrumental in that. Terry would go out and do the fighting, but he was the brain. So I love that.
Like Batman, like Kevin Conroy could be the dude in the chair.
Yeah.
There you go.
Switching out the suit.
Yeah, switch out the suit. There you go.
I had no problem with that. But I'm also irritated. I even said this on my channel. I made a crisis video with my dream, what I wanted to happen, which I knew wasn't going to happen because it's the CW. But I wanted Diggle to have an Earth where he was Jon Stewart. I needed Diggle.
Yeah.
They've been teasing us with this crap for years.
I think it's gonna pop up in one of the
if
next
it's not in
episodes.
the next two, I'm just gonna boycott.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. Why do you have Diggle in there just to get his butt handed to him and to try and get Oliver's soul back? That's literally your whole purpose.
Or even make the tease that his pappy's last name is Stewart.
It's Stewart. Not only that, I mean, even so I
or
believe
also
Jon
fold
Stewart
in Black
was
Lightning.
Yeah, Jon Stewart was a Marine, and I think John Diggle was an Army.
He's in the Army.
Outside of that, if you look at their lives parallel, it's almost the exact same thing.
Well, none of that. He has also said his last name is not actually Diggle. He's very been vocal about that. Not only that. They had the tease with Ernie Hudson and his father being Colonel Stewart. You also have Lynn from Black Lightning. Who
now in the comic they always rumored that was her brother, and that's why she was so against Jefferson being a metahuman. Because she kind of went through that whole worrying about her brother's safety thing. Now they haven't said there's any connection because I know the showrunners of Black Lightning originally never wanted to be.
They never wanted to be. No.
So I know.
I don't know.
Not,
maybe if we can get Diggle as Jon Stewart, maybe that'd be like, hey, look, we
Uncle Diggle.
Skin folk. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, I would freaking love that because I love Lynn's character, although she's kind of a biatch right now in season 2 or we're in season 3. But everything that's happening with ASA and Lynn and her being completely, she's just being a biatch. She's an irrational bee right now. I'm not liking Lynn a lot in this season, but I love her character as a whole. She is brilliant. Mm-hmm. She's useful, unlike Felicity. I'm sorry, I know what you're gonna say to me. Come at me. This woman was not even an Arrow character in the comics. She was a Batman character for like a micro minute, and she was married to, I think, like a security officer.
It was a security. She was a non. She was a non character, and it just further puts focus on the fact that early Arrow season 1 Arrow relied very heavily on Batman lore,
yes.
even the most obscure stuff.
I don't hate the actress. I think she's nice. The character would have been cool if she was just a supporting, bubbly little hacker, but they pushed Laurel Lance aside, Black Canary aside for this Felicity thing, and then had to change the comics to accommodate that. And that really, it was like, why? Then why even have Laurel Lance in it? You know what I mean? There's no point. You just made this character that was a major player in the Arrow universe nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had problems with that.
Let's bring it home. Let's give a prediction for where we think the next 2 episodes are going to go.
Okay. Well, we know that traditional comic stuff's not going to happen. So Supergirl is not going to have the crap beat out of her by a monitor.
She will probably not be killed.
No, we already know that Barry's not going to have the nuclear bomb phasing experience he had in the comics because we had alternate Barry Allen.
We sacrificed John Wesley's ship so that John Wesley's ship got vaporized so Barry Allen could.
So that Barry
not
Allen,
be
different Earth.
vaporized.
I mean, the monitor just left that part Keeley out, which Barry Allen and which universe had to die. So that was kind of messed up. But I don't think we're going to have another death. But you never know. Because, like, if you look at it, I think the human, what's his name? The human guy they picked up.
Ryan Choi?
Yeah. The one, well, no, he's not going to die because he's going to become
He's got to become the Atom.
We know John Cryer's not going anywhere. He signed another contract for Lex Luthor. God, they killed off so many people already. So, like, people I thought were goners are already dead.
I honestly, I think it's no different than in Avengers Endgame. All these characters are going to come back and they'll try and have
big portal bubbles.
they'll have a half-ass portal bubble moment thing, and
the Speed Force will open up and like, guess what?
Instead of having like thousands of the Doctor Strange firecracker kung fu portals, what they'll do is they'll have a bunch of they'll probably have about a dozen different boom tubes and Speed Force bubbles that pop up.
Well, what about
that's what they're called. They're called boom.
Well,
no,
what about Wally
comics,
West though? Because Wally West is supposed to be in Crisis, and we haven't seen him at all yet.
He's
I know
he could
be in the Speed Force.
Well, I know they said he will be back after Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't know if he'll actually be in it, but
he had mentioned that he would film for Crisis. So
then he'll probably be in one of the last 2 episodes.
So I'm wondering if he's just hiding in the Speed Force.
Honestly, I'm gonna be brutally honest. That's exactly what my prediction is. My prediction is that they are gonna have a scene. I'm telling you right now. You can take this shit to the bank. They're going to have a scene where the Anti-Monitor is going to be running their fades crazy. And the next thing you know, there's going to be a bunch of these, like, they probably won't do the on your left thing, but they'll probably do something that's very similar to it. And all of these characters that we haven't seen in a while, and maybe even some new characters like Stargirl, are going to show up. And they're going to start beating the crap out of the Anti-Monitor, and they're all going to win, and maybe somebody's, and I don't know if anybody else is going to die. I feel like enough people have died by this point, but I feel like if anybody else dies, I'll have like a funeral scene. Like a lot of this is just, basically the more I've looked at this show, the more I kind of thought about it, the more I keep thinking like, yeah, they basically just use it as an excuse to have a CW Arrowverse version of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And this isn't the first time they've done this. They did this with Arrow. I think it was season 5 or 6, where they had a mini Civil War scenario going on that show. They've been doing a lot of stuff like that lately. So this isn't a reach. This just is what it is.
So the second hour of the last episode is probably where we're going to see.
That's where you're going to see all that. I guarantee you they'll have a huge battle.
Okay, then my prediction is we might get Green Lantern. He may be there may be no dialogue. He might just be fighting.
He'll probably just show up. It'll be like with the Titans thing. He'll show up and you'll get enough screen time. He'll kind of be like. and then they'll just move on.
Everyone takes a selfie at the end.
Yeah, and then they'll probably show like regular Diggle, like Earth 1 Diggle will just be like, he'll have the same reaction he has anytime he sees people use superpowers. He'll just be like, huh? That's what'll happen. I'm telling you right now.
But then he'll see his own face and pee himself. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, he'll probably throw up. Like he does with Barry.
But we know we will not get any other form of Batman, so we can just hang that up.
Or maybe we will. Maybe Kevin Conroy will show up and he'll be like, he'll be in the Dark Knight Returns, like the armored bat suit, and then we'll get Tim Daly to show up maybe as Superman. Who knows? I feel like this crossover has had enough Superman for my taste. I would rather they not. I think there's other characters in the DC Comics universe that exists that you could use other than
I'm
those.
100%, 1,000,000,000% in agreement of that. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think what you just said is what's going to happen, and if it doesn't, well, then that's just shoddy writing.
Then missed opportunities. But
Yep.
anyways, Maria, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me not only here sitting next to Ernie in his man cave,
The
Blerd cave, next to the Blerd mobile, but also at Approach the Nerd. So please follow me there because I talk about all kinds of stuff. Some things you may want to hear, some things you might not, but listen anyway.
There you go. I think you are informative and
I try.
and you have opinions and you have thoughts.
I do. And I got a mouth and they come out of him.
Anyways, let us know what if you agree, do you disagree, do you think we're wrong, do you think it was perfect, do you think it was great, do you think it was bad, do you think it was okay, do you think it was middling, do you think it's somewhere in between all of that? Anyway,
and what's gonna happen in the end of Crisis?
Yeah,
please.
let us know all that stuff. Y'all know the drill. Sound off in the comments.
So hey, you made it to the end of the video. Awesome for you. If you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, I don't see how you didn't, do me a favor. Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. And tap that bell so you know when I post up. Also, feel free to go check out my Patreon, where if you chuck in $1, you can get early access to most of my videos up to a week early. And if you have time, make sure you swing by nerd901.com, where you can find more of my content as well as other amazing stuff. Anyways, until next time, I love you 3000 plus Ultra!